Coach Bill Nichols, Dallas Morning News. You called the guys over right as the game was ending. Can you just summarize what you were saying to them?
Yeah, it's a teaching moment. You know, it's teaching them how to lose. They haven't lost in 14 months, right? And tell them I was very proud of them, how much I love them, and the effort they gave. And we will continue to learn from this. We will embrace our past to create our future. And it just wasn't enough tonight. But I did tell them how much I love them, and you know how we will respond to this. But also, I think the biggest message was, you know, winning or losing should look the same. You know, when it's all kind of done, you come out of that locker room and you go to shake hands. That's just respecting the game, and I don't have to worry about that with our football team. But I did want to make sure before we went across that I had them all together, and I just wanted to make sure they knew to hold their heads high, how proud of them I really was of them, and that's all I said.
Question in the middle on the right side.
Coach Ben Baby from the Dallas Morning
Hey,
News.
Ben.
Hey, what about Wisconsin's passing game was effective, and why do you think it worked so well?
I tell you what, that tight end, he's unbelievable. I mean, I thought, we knew he was really good, right? But, you know, we don't have some, 6'3" safeties or anything to really contest with him. You can see some of his catches were contested by Darius Phillips, and we put our best cover guy on him at different times. Schematically created some mismatches here and there that we felt like, hey, we got a shot to be able to do this. Excuse me. But when you have a 6'6" tight end that has range like that, and you got a quarterback as accurate as they have, two of them, that's what happens. Because there were multiple catches he had that were contested, and we just didn't come down with it. And the last play, I'll be honest with you, I mean, they got us. They got us. I mean, we had to kind of say, okay, well, we can't let them get much. This is our only shot. Pretty much thought they're going to run. They threw a pass. And if they would have had an incomplete pass there, everybody said, like, well, why'd you throw it? That's why they're elite coaches, and that's why they got elite players. But you got to give them a lot of credit. The quarterback's incredibly accurate, and that's the best tight end we faced in the 4 years here, and he's incredible. Got to give him a lot of credit.
On the aisle.
Skylar Dixon with the Associated Press. BJ, you looked a little emotional coming off the field. Was that so? And if so,
Yeah,
what was the
absolutely.
cause?
I'm an emotional guy. I know that's not a secret for any of you, but I'm an emotional guy. I am. And think about your kids. Think about if you have, a lot of you drop your kids off at college and you just never see them again. Some of you are very excited, okay, to drop them off. But think about just giving up your kids right now and sending them off and never seeing them again. Or having them just come back and visit. I have children. I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And if you took them away from me right now, I'd be emotional. So these are my kids. We have 4 children, Heather and I, but we got 105 of them in there, and that's the way I feel. And this senior class has done so much for this football program, as a lot of seniors do as they leave their programs. But this has been special because they took, I think, one of the worst college football teams in the country, with all due respect, and made it 8 points away from winning a Cotton Bowl championship, which you don't get any credit for. You lost. But what they did and what they accomplished this entire year, the 76 numbers, to get to where they got to, it's a legacy they'll leave here, and that we can continue to build on as we continue to move forward. So you're right, I'm emotional because those kids are like my children.
Question on the aisle, left.
Troy Wood TV, he actually took my question.
Hi, Troy.
So I'll ask the other one. There's already talk, and there's been talk all season, there's talk now, season's over, where you go next. Where does that stand?
I'm going to Kalamazoo. I don't know where you're going. I don't know where everybody else is going. I mean, I'm on the bus, and unless they don't want me on there, Kathy, I mean, if 13-1 gets you fired around here, but, I love where I'm at, period. And, it's simple as that. We're heading back to Kalamazoo.
Question on the left.
Coach Corey Olson from MLive.com.
Hi, Corey.
You spoke of the teaching moment there towards the end of the game, and you've also talked about how the players teach you things as well. Did the players or the game teach you specifically, or your coaching staff, anything today, whether it be clock management or anything associated with how the game was managed?
No, I thought we did everything we could to win the football game. When you have a team like that that control the clock, and you look at the two teams, we were number 1 and number 4 in time of possession, right? And there was 10 seconds apart, I think, at the end of the game, just 10 seconds in terms of time of possession. We did everything we could to win the football game, both offensively, defensively, and special teams. There's a lot of things we wanted to be able to create in special teams that just never brought themselves, to the forefront. You know, you've got to be able to call it depending on how the game goes. We dug ourselves a 14-0 hole. And that's what happens.
Okay, we got a question. I've lost the microphone now. Where's the microphone? Okay, Dave.
Dave Michaels with the North Texas Sports Network. Coach, you talk about making history. You talk about taking a team that was at its worst to its best, 13-0, make it 13-1. What's this do for you, for your team in the future with a Cotton Bowl appearance and putting this school, Western Michigan, on the map?
Well, I think the first thing it does is it helps recruiting. Recruiting is the lifeline of any football program. And any former coach or any athletic director and anybody who knows anything about football will tell you, if you don't have players, you're not going to win, first and foremost. You know, then they got to be elite people. You got to make sure of that and get the right people into your system. So that's what it helps. You know, I want people to understand, if you come to Western Michigan University, right, you have an opportunity to win a national championship. And that's true. As for all the talk out there, that is true. Now, it's a little bit harder to win a national championship, right, and get to the playoff or get to the Cotton Bowl when you're in the group of 5. However, it can be done, and we've proven that. Northern Illinois has proven that. Boise has proven that. Right? Houston has proven that. And if we remember back with Houston being 6-0 or whatever they were, there was talk of them being in the Final Four. Why? Because they did it 2 consecutive years. And again, that's where the next step of our football program is. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be in the national title talk next year, but we have to take the next right step. And that's by upgrading our recruiting, upgrading our facilities, continue to take our program from where it is and take the next right step. For that to happen, there's got to be a lot more people committed than just Coach Fleck. There's got to be a lot more people committed to that. And I think this type of game helps that. You saw the crowd out there. I mean, if some of you don't even think there's a Kalamazoo, Michigan that exists, there's 150,000 people within a 6-mile radius of Kalamazoo. It's a fabulous little town. You got to come out and see it, right? But my point is that's what we have to be able to do. Capture what you saw out there at AT&T Stadium, capture it in a bottle, and spread it to everybody else, and continue to get Bronco Nation to rise and grow higher.
Question on the left.
Coach Craig Lynch again from the Voice newspaper, and you've beaten Big Ten teams before, so when you had to take their punch early, you punched back, so the moment wasn't that big for you guys. Do you think the fact that you've beaten Big Ten teams before helped a little bit?
You know, I think it helped with our players listening to the outside media, but with inside our walls, we take one game at a time. If anything, from the outside noise, it gave validity to what everybody was saying. But Wisconsin's, with all due respect, Wisconsin's a different animal. You know, they were a few seconds away from winning the Big Ten championship, and here they are in the Cotton Bowl, right? And you're talking about a top 6, top 7 team in the country. And when you play a team like that, you almost have to be flawless. Both teams, something's going to give. And I think a lot of you said that, something's going to give. Well, something did give. You know, we screwed up first. We threw the big interception, and go figure, the guy that was committed to us that flips to Wisconsin picks it. There's a reason why we recruited that guy. I promise you, there was a reason. That was it. Got to give TJ a lot of credit. But he did come up to me after the game. I do want to say that he did come up to me, and it was kind of ironic.
This is the final question for Coach.
Coach, John Henry with the Star Telegram in Fort Worth.
Hi, John.
You guys also probably haven't been down 14-0 much this season.
At all.
What was the mood of your team at that point, and what was your message to them, their coach's message to them?
Yeah, it's probably going to be really
stay in it.
Oh yeah, it's probably going to be really shocking to you, but it was row the boat. Put your oar in the water and just keep rowing. You know, we're in a storm right now, and it's pretty bad. But again, if we stop rowing, it's going to get a lot worse, and we'll never get out of it. You know, some of you row, some of you don't. We're going to go in a circle. But if we continue to row, we'll get out of it. And we came out of it, right? And there's highs and lows throughout the entire football game. Whether it's high or whether it's low, our team's trained to just continue to row and continue to do it for each other. We knew that, you know, even at the coin toss, right, and we defer, it was like, we'll pick your poison, right? Do you want to be able to get the ball in the second half after when you make adjustments? And that's our philosophy. We want to be able to have that in the second half. And they came out and scored. And then we went, you know, we had one first down with Corey, and then we went 3 and out. And they scored again. Then we had a pretty big hole. But when you dig a 14-0 hole against the 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th team, ranked team in the country, it's good. It's tough to climb out of. And you saw that. We struggled to get out of that all night long or all day long. But I'm very proud of our kids' resolve and their resiliency. They showed what Western Michigan football is all about. And they showed the entire country why we were 13-0. And for all of they who didn't think we belong, I think we do belong. And we'll continue to grow higher, keep changing our best, and keep rowing the boat.